Have you ever wondered what's really going on inside a doctor's head when the pressure's on? Well, today, we're pulling back the curtain. We're going to decode the secret language of medical training and see the mental shortcuts they use to make life-or-death decisions.
Just look at this. This is an actual note from a doctor studying for their board exams. I mean, it's dense, it's cryptic. It looks like a completely different language, doesn't it?
To most of us, yeah, it might as well be. You've got abbreviations, little arrows, weird fragments of words all jammed together. It's a lot.
But here's the thing. This isn't gibberish, not even close. It's a hyper-efficient system of mental models and shortcuts. And by the end of this, I promise you're going to understand the thinking behind this code, and you'll have a whole new appreciation for how these experts work.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to translate this medical code. Then, we'll dive into the core thinking tools it reveals, seeing patterns in a flash, doing some real detective work, following critical life-saving rules, and finally, the mental discipline it takes to perform under insane pressure. So to crack this code, we have to get what it's for. See, these notes aren't about just memorizing a bunch of facts. They're actually blueprints for building a diagnostic engine inside the brain. Each one of these cryptic lines is a piece of logic that's designed to fire off instantly in a real clinic.
Okay, the first tool in the toolkit is all about pattern recognition. This is the brain's amazing ability to see a classic cluster of symptoms and immediately link it to a probable diagnosis. It's all about that lightning-fast if this, then that logic that saves critical time.
So, for example, a note might just say, loud and rapid speech bipolar. What this does is it trains the doctor's brain. So when a patient actually comes in talking a mile a minute, making all these grandiose claims, they don't have to start from square one. Bam! The mind immediately flags a possible bipolar manic episode, and that guides every question that comes next. And here's another great one. Any paroxysmal cough, then it's pertussis. Any. It's a really simple rule. It just says, hey, if a patient has this sudden, violent, recurring cough, the very first thing that should pop into your head is pertussis. Whooping cough. It's an incredibly powerful mental shortcut.
But let's be real. Pattern recognition is just step one. So many cases are not that simple or clear-cut. A lot of the time, getting to a diagnosis means you have to connect seemingly unrelated clues. This is where the doctor really puts on their detective hat.
Check out this note. Edema, pedal and periorp plus triglycerides equals nephro. Now, on their own, swollen feet or high triglycerides, they could mean a dozen different things, but the trained mind knows to connect the dots. When you see swelling in both the feet and around the eyes, and you combine that with high triglycerides, suddenly those three distant clues all point to one major suspect, nephrotic syndrome, which is a really serious kidney disorder.
All right, moving on. Beyond just patterns and clues, these notes are just packed with what I like to call non-negotiable rules. You can think of them like the brain's safety checklist, designed to stop common but potentially fatal mistakes right in their tracks.
This one is literally written in all caps for a reason. Always. Divide bun/Cre. It's not a suggestion, it's a command. Now, bun and creatinine, those are just two values you get from a standard blood test that have to do with your kidneys.
But it's not just about seeing if the numbers are high or low. The real magic happens when you look at their relationship to each other. So why? Why is this one little division problem so ridiculously important?
Because that ratio, it acts like a diagnostic GPS for the kidneys. A high number might point to a problem happening before the kidneys, like dehydration. A normal ratio could suggest the problem is inside the kidneys themselves. It's an incredibly powerful way to narrow down the cause with just one simple calculation.
And here's another brilliant rule. If AST cholesterol and statin Q check HbA1c. So this means if a patient's cholesterol seems to be the main problem, before you even think about prescribing a statin, you have to check if they have underlying diabetes. Why? Because diabetes completely changes the game. The risk, the treatment, everything. It forces the doctor to see the whole patient, not just one number on a lab report.
And finally, this is where it gets really fascinating. These notes aren't just about clinical facts. They actually reveal the kind of mental discipline it takes to think clearly when the stakes are at their highest, and that's a skill that goes way beyond medicine.
Tucked away among all the medical algorithms, you find this piece of advice, written in Arabic. It almost seems out of place, but honestly, it might be the most important note in the whole document.
So in English, it translates to this incredibly profound instruction. It's a warning against second-guessing your expert intuition unless you have a very, very good reason.
I mean, that's not just for doctors, right? That's a lesson for all of us. Trust your training, trust your experience, but before you make a change, force yourself to really explain why. It's a powerful defense against panic and self-doubt.
And then you've got the flip side of that coin. This note is a direct, blunt warning against confirmation bias. That tendency we all have to see what we expect to see. It's a reminder to let the evidence lead you, not the other way around.
So when you look back at all these cryptic notes, it becomes so clear. This isn't about memorizing flashcards. It is about building a complex, flexible, and unbelievably fast network of connections in your brain. A true diagnostic engine that's built for the messy reality of human health.
So we did it. We cracked the code. And we found these 4 key ingredients of expert medical thinking: that instant pattern recognition, the detective-like ability to connect clues, the discipline to follow critical safety rules, and the mental toughness to make the right call when it matters most.
And this kind of deep encoded expertise, it isn't just in medicine. You see it in mechanics, pilots, chefs, engineers, and it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What are the invisible mental frameworks, the hidden codes that power the experts all around us?